Hi everyone, Scared Than He's Straight Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Xibalba album, Earth and Liberty.
Oh, you're reviewing black metal again?
What is wrong with you?
You just review too much black metal. That's all. Just saying. Too much black metal.
This is the sophomore full-length LP from LA hardcore metalcore band Xibalba. A band that I caught on to in 2012 because in that year they dropped one of the most badass, uncompromisingly aggressive records that year, Hasta la Muerte, which was a riff-led rage of a beatdown hardcore album. And with help of Greg Anderson of Sun fame, the album also attained the low range frequency of a doom or drone metal album, really setting Xibalba apart from many other bands in their genre. Also, Taylor Young of Nails on production with this record, which led to a massive, heavy, just pummeling recording. Musically, there were enraged vocals all over this record, some really grimy, down-tuned tremolo guitars straight out of the death metal playbook. And on most of these tracks, the vocal breaks were pretty catchy, and for the most part, the grooves all over this album were pretty irresistible. Even though, in a sense, the band did exemplify the tough guy hardcore band cliche, I thought just the depth of the guitars, the low-end heaviness, and just the incredible aggression of this album kind of transcended that. The wrath of this record was so strong that it could go toe-to-toe with numerous records in numerous genres. This album featured the kind of uncontrollable anger that could drive you to punch a brick wall until you just ground your fists down to bloody stumps. Given that, I was looking forward quite a bit to the band's sophomore record right here when I heard it was announced. And I'm happy to report that the raw and extreme anger on the previous record is still very much intact on this new album here too. In fact, not much of Xibalba's style really changes on this LP. We still get those down-tuned death metal style tremolos, those just heavy pummeling riffs, head-banging grooves, double bass drums, blast beats. The band constantly shifting up and down in speed, finding different angles to explore the groove of the track. Every moment as mosh-worthy as the next. However, the most obvious critique that I could think of for the band's last record, that it's just kind of one-dimensional hardcore music, is kind of difficult to ignore on this new record. For one, Xibalba moves forward without the doom metal sound or influence that was really clear as a bell on their last record. They kind of revert to their older sound, which is noticeably less unique on this thing. And while it doesn't ruin the album, it does make it slightly less exciting. On this new album here, Xibalba's sound seems less like a novel idea and more like just an exercise in catharsis. Though this is an album that serves that end really well. Right from the start of this LP, ENEMIGO, where there is one part of this track where I'm just hearing the lyric, "Enemy to myself." Awesome part, but how the song actually starts is just with this deep, dark belly growl and then a heavy riff. There's no real setting the tone or anything. You're just thrown into an alligator pit and you're left to figure it out. The riffs, the dissonant tremolo guitar harmonies, the vocals, all fed through a series of intense build-ups and breakdowns. And while it's not exactly rocket science, it's not exactly complex or flashy, it's certainly visceral. And after this track, I guess it's just sort of a question as to whether or not the other tracks do the job of this one as well. Are they as hard-hitting? Are they as blood-pumping? And for the most part they are. Moving on to the next track, we have Guerrilla, where the lyrics take kind of a militant turn, and the riffs do rip. The song does kick ass, even if the vocal intro of the track does reek of hardcore machismo. The song Winter has a lot of drug themes, especially with the slowed down sample of a bong hit right at the beginning of the track. The song En Paz Descanse actually has one of my favorite intros of any track on this entire LP, some more mean-faced riffing. And this is one of the few tracks here where the band actually layers some really nice things on top of these riffs and on top of these chords. You're getting some really sour, dark harmonies, and toward the very end of the track, there's actually sort of a doom metal moment with some melodic leads. But as much as I may enjoy each one of these more aggressive tracks individually, as a whole, they all really just kind of blend together and aren't really so exciting that I'm dying to return to them. And when you move beyond these tracks, there are a few variants. There is a short little interlude cut in the middle of the LP that's just about a minute long. It isn't really a highlight for me. It's just a bit of filler, in my opinion. And then the closing track, which lasts 12 minutes long, I don't really feel the band has the writing chops or the finesse to pull off a track of this length. And it just ends up being a ball and chain that really drags the entire album, but especially the end down. It was just too little too late, if you'll forgive the cliche. I still prefer Hasta la Muerte. I still think that's a great record. I still think that's a really solid record. And, you know, I still give these guys kudos for at least being dedicated to their sound, and they are aggressive. This album does hit hard. It shows mercy to no one. Yeah, the band is mad as hell, but that's not all that made their last LP so good. I'm feeling a strong 6 to a light 7 on this thing. Transition. If you've given this album a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. Anthony Fantano, Xibalba, forever.